Walk into any diner in America today and you will find the same breakfast: scrambled eggs, bacon strips, toast from a plastic bag. But somewhere between the Great Depression and the drive-through window, the American South lost an entire table's worth of food. Breakfast that fed families of 8 on almost nothing. In 1932, a Southern grandmother could feed 5 children before sunrise on cornmeal, pork fat, and whatever the root cellar still had. What she put on that table, we have almost completely forgotten. Today, we are counting down 25 forgotten Southern breakfasts our grandparents made. Watch until the end because the breakfast at number 25 will change how you think about Southern cooking forever. Number 1, fried cornmeal mush. Each evening, your grandmother poured cornmeal into boiling salted water, stirred it thick, and pressed it into a loaf pan. By morning, it had set solid. She sliced it, fried it in bacon grease until the outside, crackled gold, and poured sorghum over the top. One pot fed 6 and cost almost nothing. Number 2, red-eye gravy and country ham. Here is where things get personal. When your great-grandfather pulled the country ham from the skillet, he poured black coffee straight into the hot drippings. That thin, dark, salty liquid was red-eye gravy. Bitter, smoky, like nothing else on earth. The dish faded when convenience gravies came in packets. Number 3, tomato gravy. Canned tomatoes, flour, bacon grease, salt, and pepper. Poured over a split biscuit or grits. It tasted like the garden in summer, even in the dead of January. Families across Georgia and Alabama made this through the Depression, not because they had to, but because they loved it. It disappeared when jarred sauces told us cooking had to come from a factory. Number 4, crackling bread. When a hog was slaughtered in the fall, the rendered fat left crispy bits called cracklings. Your grandmother folded those into cornbread batter and baked it in her cast iron. Salty, smoky, rich in every bite. Born of the old Southern principle that nothing goes to waste. Gone when the backyard hog disappeared. Number 5, sawmill gravy on a cat head biscuit. Translation: sawmill gravy is what the rest of the country calls sausage gravy, but the original was thinner, spicier, and ladled over a biscuit the size of a cat's head. Big, rough edge pulled apart with both hands. Appalachian sawmill workers started their shifts before dawn with this. The cat head biscuit shrank. The gravy got watered down. The original is gone. Number 6, sorghum, syrup, and butter. Sorghum is not molasses, not maple syrup. Grassy, complex, faintly mineral. Every fall in rural Tennessee and Kentucky, neighbors gathered at the sorghum mill and filled their jars for winter. A hot biscuit with butter and sorghum was breakfast for millions of Southern children. When cheap corn syrup arrived, most of those community mills closed forever. Number 7, liver mush. Ground pork liver and cornmeal, pressed into a loaf, sliced thick, and fried until the outside crisp. Your grandfather ate it on white bread with mustard before the sun came up. It faded when Americans decided post-war prosperity meant leaving organ meats behind, but it has never left the breakfast diners of Shelby, North Carolina. Number 8, hoe cakes with cane syrup. A hoe cake is not a pancake. Cornmeal and water fried flat in a skillet. Eaten by enslaved people, by sharecroppers, by anyone who needed something fast with almost nothing on hand. Drizzled with Louisiana cane syrup, it was breakfast and sometimes supper. Cornmeal, water, heat. Replaced almost entirely by pancake mix from a box. Number 9, streak o' lean, heavily cured pork belly, white with fat and shot through with thin stripes of meat. You fried it dry until the fat rendered and the outside blistered. Stronger and saltier than bacon, used to flavor beans, greens, and the grease they fried cornbread in. Your grandmother knew. Fat was not the enemy. It was the meal. Number 10, milk toast. Day-old bread, toasted dry, placed in a bowl, covered with warm sweetened milk and a dash of cinnamon. The kindest breakfast in the Southern repertoire. For sick children, for elderly grandparents, for anyone whose body needed something gentle. Instant oatmeal replaced it, but nothing about instant oatmeal feels like being taken care of. Pattern break. Here is where things get personal. Every dish on this list required time. Time to render fat, to stir cornmeal, to braise pork before the sun came up. The grandmothers who made these breakfasts did not see that time as a burden. They saw it as the work of caring for a family. We lost something when we decided breakfast had to be fast. Which of these did your family make? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe. We will keep these stories alive together. Number 11. Callas. Deep fried rice fritters dusted with powdered sugar, sold by Creole women on the streets of the French Quarter from the early 1800s through the mid-20th century.